So Norfolk, another neighboring city of mine, just had a jail employee arrested for drug charges. I don't believe it was a drug smuggling charge, but maybe it was. And what's so interesting about this is this wasn't a guard at the jail, so it wasn't a correctional officer. It wasn't a jail civilian in terms of like a nurse or a kitchen worker. Folks, this was the jail's inmate classification manager. That shit just sounds important. You a manager in the jail. You could be a food service manager inside of a correctional facility, and that probably is no better than the person taking your order at the drive-thru at McDonald's. But it sounds fancy, like a Dior Dizash type of shit, right? I'm a food connoisseur consultant for Dior Dizash. Bitch, you're delivering for Pizza Hut. Norfolk Sheriff's Office inmate classification manager arrested on drug charges. Hold the frickin' phone. Why is this so hard hitting? Folks, do you know what the classification person does inside of a jail? They classify you. They've got all the power over where you're going up inside of that jail, whether you're going to minimum, medium, maximum. They are entrusted to classify you in the exact area that you belong. Now, I'm sure it's nothing more than a Sudoku puzzle at this point. You just fill in the blanks with some numbers on a scorecard. But that shit sounds God body. You know, hey, yo, I'm going to see the inmate classification manager. I hope you're having a splentastic day, ma'am. You know, you might try to rub up on them a little bit, try to get on their good side so that you don't end up in maximum, which could be in a pod full of killers or a 23-1 scenario. Yo, any chance I could get the medium? Maybe even a low? Not the jail's inmate classification officer being arrested on drug charges. What in the world happened in this situation? Was she bringing the pack into the facility? If so, that's crazy, because that means she probably was having a relationship with one of them inmate fellas. Was it a lucrative endeavor? I wonder what an annual salary for an inmate classification manager is in a jail. $35,000? Who could survive on that? You better get you an ounce of blow and turn on a Young Jeezy's LP and find you some Pyrex. A former Norfolk Sheriff's Office employee was arrested on Tuesday on several drug charges. Her name is Tashana McKenzie. She was 49 years old enough to know better. She was an inmate classification manager at the Norfolk Sheriff's Office and was charged with possession with intent to deliver fentanyl. Man, she had the Fetty Wap pack, conspiracy to violate the Drug Control Act, and possession of a firearm while PWID fentanyl in Norfolk. Oh my God. She definitely had that Jeezy album on repeat. Man, she's facing additional charges in Virginia Beach as well. I've served time in Norfolk. Norfolk is no joke. Oh, Norfolk's a shithole. Norfolk's one of them jails that puts you in the striped jumpsuits like you're back in that movie Life with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Bauer. Who was the other guy? Joe said Eddie Bauer. McKenzie was taken into custody around 2:30 p.m. July 29th and subsequently terminated from her position. She had been employed at the Norfolk Sheriff's Office since November 23rd, 2001. Folks, if they're able to create a freaking track record of repeat behavior here, she about to get hit with a federal indictment and some ghost weight. Man, what you was doing with the fentanyl anyway? They're giving people life getting caught with the fentanyl. And you was somebody who was entrusted, a civil servant. In her role, she oversaw inmate placement within the jail. Norfolk Sheriff's Office mission statement outlines our commitment to public safety, public service, and public trust. And I expect our employees to make decisions that embody that mission statement and our core values of integrity in all things. Now, real quick, let me just go ahead and forget that mission statement. That shit sounds good. Okay, Norfolk is a city, like probably many others, judicial side of things, that has more black eyes than somebody in a UFC fight. I'm going to make that very watered down and not try to say something that would be triggering. They just had a sheriff, a former sheriff of Norfolk, who ended up getting sentenced to like 20 years in prison for embezzlement. That was a thing. That happened within the last 5 years. That guy just got his boots smoked. Yeah, Norfolk definitely is no stranger to hypocrisy taking place inside of their sheriff's department. And if you make it to the end of this, I'll share with you one of my most embarrassing, fondest moments of being in the Norfolk City jail. I was butt-ball naked in front of a bunch of scared straight kids. I'll just leave it with that little cliffhanger for the moment. It was crazy. Norfolk Sheriff Joe Barron said in a statement, "My office recently learned about an investigation involving one of our employees, and we immediately offered our full cooperation to the investigators. Upon learning of the charges and subsequent arrest of Miss McKenzie, coupled with the Norfolk Sheriff's Office internal investigation, she was terminated from her." Scene from that movie when the camera pans through this dope house and they're cutting up dope on the table. This is long before fentanyl was a twinkle in its daddy's eye. But you just see this female cop in her full uniform just walking by the table. And it was such a hard-hitting moment in that movie because you were like, damn, man, somebody booed up a cop. They got an inside source. You know, I think people may see that movie. Yo, what just happened there? Are we good? It literally looked like the channel crashed for a moment. I almost thought we got banned. It had like that blue screen with like the crazy face on it. This is a huge story coming out of my local area just because of the position that this lady was entrusted with. And you know, I truly feel like some of these women that get wrapped up in these situations, like obviously there was some kind of a love interest with either somebody who was in the jail at that time or previous. 49 years old, hey, you know, you an empty nester, you lonely, you trying to knock the dust off that money, and you got you a D-boy. You down for whatever, right? Yeah, I don't know what just happened right there. It said no connect. I thought we just got banned, and I think they hit the ban button by accident. They're probably definitely watching us intently as I share this story. I did mention that I was butt-ball naked in front of a bunch of scared straight children, but they couldn't see anything, thank God. But man, do you want to talk about a unbelievably embarrassing situation? I told you guys I would share a story with you. One of my most fondest memories from that jail. I was 18 years old. Young little pistol starter Joe had some sleazeball girlfriend break up with me, but you know, she did so in the right way. She really worried that I would hang it up in there. And I was distraught. What you mean you leaving me? I thought you was the one. I thought you was down. Thought you was my ride or die, man. Joe was bawling like a little baby on the phone when she broke up with me. You know what she did? She called the jail and put me on suicide watch. Yes, she did. I probably said some dumb shit too, like I can't live without you. How you gonna do me like this? So anyways, you know, it's one thing to get your heart broke, especially at such a young age, you know, 18, when, you know, the juices are flowing, you know, you a young little whippersnapper. Love is some other shit. It's the worst form of a drug. I watch these TikToks with these young folks now, and I'm just like, man, all this dumbass love shit, it just don't hit the same. Maybe it's me. Probably absolutely is. So yeah, man, shorty broke up with me. She put me in the turtle suit. So, you know, I'm down there and I'm trying to get up out of there, but they had a protocol. I had to stay down there for like a week or so, like 10 days. I was down there forever, and it was cold as a bitch. I ain't have nothing but a roll of toilet paper and a freaking a gummy bear freaking bulletproof vest. Joe was looking like Gumby in that bitch. And of course, the counselor who was in control of my freedom from this isolation was the baddest little thing back during that time. No disrespect to my wife, but just calling for what it is. Man, so I got to talk to her butt-ball naked, and I'm like, I'm trying to be fly. I'm like, yo, hey, listen, do I look the type? She probably listened to them recorded phone calls and was like, God, why you doing like... But nah, man, I had to turn over a new leaf talking to her, trying to get up out of that situation. So anyways, she kept me down there. She ain't go for the bullshit. I wasn't suicidal, though. That was the craziest thing. I just said that shit, if I did say anything of the sort. You know, when you're young and you're dumb, you'll say some wild shit. Don't necessarily mean you're going to do it or not. I'm going to kill you, bitch, when I come home. I'm just talking. So anyways, I'm down there. I'm bored as a bitch. And there's not a lot that's going on down there. But this one day, man, I just hear this commotion. And I look through my little window, and I can see all these little young folks walking by, man. They got the Scared Straight program in there. And I'm down in this bitch butt ball naked, and they telling the kids, they're like, yeah, look at this stupid right here. He told the people he was going to kill himself. They laughing at me. So now I'm super mad. Man, if I said some dumb shit to end up in that situation, you should have heard the dumb shit I was saying to them kids. You know, on the Scared Straight TV show, the object is to scare the kids, right? I was telling them the truth. I'm gonna kill you, little son of a bitch. They let me out this cell right now. I swear to God, I'll bite your throat out. Yeah, I'm naked back here. I was telling them, I was getting it all off of my chest. And you know what they did? They weren't even scared. They weren't even like, oh my God, I'm going to straighten up. This is why Joe can't go into no facility, because ain't nobody going to take me serious. I ain't big enough. Man, I'm sitting down that bitch and they laughing at me. I was even more mad. The more they laughed at, man, that shit did something to me. I ain't going to lie. So it was already bad enough that, you know, I was in this situation. And this was long before social media. This is like 2001, 2002 type time. Dial-up internet wasn't even a thing yet. Maybe it was. But this was the closest form of going viral you could have at that moment. You know, you weigh the pros and the cons when you're in the situation. Okay, what's the worst here? I'm butt-ball naked. I'm eating squares of toilet paper to kill the hunger pains. But so what? The only person that I'm the most embarrassed by is this counselor that I got to deal with. But so what? She's one person. Man, they brought a school bus load of kids in front of me. They was all pointing and laughing at me. Bitch, I was going viral in 2002 on some grassroots type shit. Never forget it. Never forget it.